A husband and daughter are U.S. citizens, the wife and mother from Ukraine. The family finally reunited here in San Diego.
New shared traffic lanes causing confusion in Mira Mesa, and now Point Loma may be next. We have neighborhood reaction.
Plus, we're working for you to clear up the confusion about these bike lanes and show you how they're designed to work.
Until 2024, this popular shortcut to Mission Valley will be closed to traffic.
And just how many flowers do they grow at the Carlsbad Flower Fields?
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
We hug each other, and of course we start to cry, all of us.
A Ukrainian refugee separated from her husband and daughter is reunited with her loved ones. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. We first met Brad Harrison and his daughter Sophia this past weekend as they waited to reconnect with their loved one at the border.
CBS 8's Steve Fiorina caught up with them today, their separation at an end.
A family torn apart by war, then red tape. Together again. Enjoying the sunshine, the surf at Ocean Beach, and each other. It was last night that Anna Harrison was able to call them.
I heard the voice and I'm like, that's my mother. And then we just got our bags and got to the car and ran.
After 5 days in limbo, Anna was freed from detention. She'd been held incommunicado since arriving at the San Ysidro border crossing last week. A refugee of the Ukraine conflict, her husband and daughter are both U.S. citizens and were allowed in. She wasn't. She described her holding cell.
Kind of like a prison, and I supposed to sleep on the floor and use my shoe instead of pillow.
About 24 in that space, frightened, emotional.
We would try to keep each other, be strong, because each one in a while, like one time per 2 hours, somebody became cry.
Zero information, she says. Likewise, her husband.
We were really thinking that she was, in essence, lost in their system. We didn't know if she'd been sent to another state, maybe deported.
Then the phone call last night.
But to hear her voice was just a shock to both of us. I hurried and put her on speaker, and Sophia was amazed, and we just couldn't believe.
They were just a few minutes from the McDonald's where she was waiting.
We opened the door, and it was a beeline to Mom.
Sophia running like on my back, and she recognized me immediately, and we hug each other, and of course we start to cry, all of us, because finally we're together and safe.
When I saw her, I started crying, and I missed her so much. I said, I love you.
Still, for Anna and Sophia, there are vivid memories of the bombings and the desperate exodus from Ukraine. Brad thinks about the uncertainty of the past month and week, but it's ended well.
Just want to say thanks to everybody. I can't really express how much it means to me that everybody was there to support us.
The Harrisons are heading back to Utah now, relieved and happy. Steve Fiorina, CBS 8.
I'm glad to see that update. Thank you, Steve. World leaders are responding to the horrors in Ukraine. President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia should be held accountable for war crimes after hundreds of civilian bodies were discovered in Bucha. He says Russian forces tied up and tortured some of the victims. The U.S. now says Russia should be suspended from the UN Human Rights Council. New sanctions against Russia are also expected to be announced tomorrow.
A wild police pursuit came to an end in Sorrento Valley this afternoon when police say the driver pulled over and jumped off an overpass.
It started just before 3 o'clock on the northbound 805 near Governor Drive. Police say they tried to pull over the driver of a white Mercedes for a seatbelt violation, but he sped off, eventually turning around to head south on the 5. Police say the driver then stopped the car and hopped out at the Sorrento Valley Road transition to the 805. And that is when he decided to jump off the overpass.
Police say he landed 30 to 50 feet below in some brush. You can see he was conscious when he was taken away. No word yet on the extent of his injuries or what charges he may be facing. It's been a mild and pleasant start to the work week, but Get ready for a big warm-up.
Oh, yeah. Meteorologist Sean Stiles is in for Carlene Chavis this week. Here early now with a look at how much hotter it'll be tomorrow. Sean?
Yeah, and I got to tell you guys, it is a very nice start to the work week, but big changes, as you said, heading our way. Today we were 68. Our average is 68, so we'll take that any day of the week. And as far as what we're looking at, take a look at this. This is a heat advisory, but what's so extraordinary about it is how long it's going to last from Wednesday tomorrow at 11 a.m. through Friday. But that's not just the extent of it. It's from our mountains to the coastline, but it extends all the way up into Santa Barbara. Then you combine the high wind warning that's going to go in play, and that goes from Santa Barbara County, Ventura County, and into Los Angeles County. So some very strong winds heading our way. And as far as temperatures from yesterday to today at this time, you can already start to see the warm up. And keep in mind, it's in the evening, so we really shouldn't be that much warmer, but we are. And look at these temperatures for the next 3 days. That is a 90 and a 91 along the coast, not inland, but along the coast. And for you folks in the inland microclimates, tomorrow, toasty, but it's Thursday and Friday where those temperatures, some spots could touch 100 degrees. I'll show you why that's all happening coming up in just a bit.
Coming quick. Thanks, Sean. It's Election Day in the 80th Assembly District.
This is a special election to vote in a replacement for Lorena Gonzalez, who stepped down from the post in January. 3 candidates are fighting for that seat, and the winner will serve the remainder of the term.
CBS 8's Regina Urita talked with voters, hoping to see some change in the coming months.
It's the final day. Voters in the 80th Assembly District can cast ballots in the special election. I talked to South Bay locals to ask what they're expecting for the future elected assembly member for the rest of the term.
You know, I'm looking for just to make sure that they give back to the community and make sure they take care of the people. A lot of times it's all about themselves and what they put in their pocketbook and not what they put in the community.
Jackie Warren has lived in Chula Vista for over 15 years. She says special elections are just as important as any other election, especially if it's to choose an assembly member that will represent your district.
You have to think about the community, the individuals, the homeless people. They just need a help up. They just need, you know, a step up.
The election is to select a replacement to serve out the remainder of former Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez's term, which ends in December. There are 3 candidates vying for the seat. 2 are Democrats who are both former San Diego City Council members, David Alvarez and Georgette Gomez, and Republican Lincoln Picard.
If we have a majority winner with this election, then that is the elected person to fill that vacancy. If we do not have a majority win, then the top 2 vote getters will go on the ballot in June.
Nonprofit organizations say that the biggest issues happening in the district are homelessness, lack of clean water, and transportation.
If you make $80,000 a year in our region, you still couldn't be qualified to buy a home in our region. And we want somebody to go to Sacramento who's going to work on making homes more affordable, making homes more livable, making neighborhoods safer.
While others say roads are also a problem. Juan says the roads are not only filthy, but there are constant potholes in every direction, adding that underserved communities are sometimes overlooked. As of April 1st, Democratic candidates are leading by 41,000 votes, while expected turnout rate is around 20%. Polling stations close at 8 p.m. and mail-in ballots can be dropped off too. For CBS 8, I'm Regina Urita.
Thanks, Regina. 2 people who took down a man accused of a deadly shooting spree in the Gaslamp Quarter were on the witness stand today. It was day 2 of Travis Sareshde's preliminary hearing. Prosecutors say he shot and killed 28-year-old Justice Bolden last year outside the Pendry Hotel. They showed video of Sareshde then heading north on 5th Avenue, where they say he again opened fire. Bystanders who finally tackled and stopped him testified today. If convicted, the 33-year-old Sareshde faces 126 years to life in prison. 3 men have now been arrested in connection with a mass shooting in Sacramento over the weekend. 26-year-old DeAndre Martin, 27-year-old Smiley Martin, and today 31-year-old Davion Dawson are facing charges related to the shooting. It happened early Sunday morning. 3 men and 3 women were killed. 12 others were hurt. At this point, police think the shooting started after a fight and that there were multiple shooters.
Tonight, San Diego County has an interim sheriff. Anthony Ray took the oath of office in a brief ceremony at the Board of Supervisors meeting this morning. He will remain in office until January, when the winner of the November election takes over. Last month, the board voted unanimously to select Ray to finish Sheriff Bill Gore's term. Gore retired in February. Ray is a 30-year veteran of the department.
If you know San Diego's roads very well, then you know about the shortcut between Hillcrest and Mission Valley that keeps you off the freeway.
It's called Bachmann Place, and it's a road that runs by UCSD Medical Center. It's going to be closed for the next 2 years. CBS 8's Tim Blodgett spoke with neighbors about how this will affect the area.
For those who live just south of the 8 freeway in Mission Hills, Hillcrest, and Bankers Hill, getting to Mission Valley can be a bit of a headache. Navigating the area can be difficult, and it can often be backed up when trying to get on the 163. Between Texas Street and Presidio Park, there's only one way to get to Mission Valley without getting on the freeway, and as of yesterday, it will be closed for more than 2 years.
Going down Bachmann takes us right to the 8, which then takes you to the 5 or the 163, wherever you need to go. And so that's a big problem for a lot of commuters.
Guillermo Salinas lives right here on Bachmann Place, a windy road that takes you from the bottom of Mission Valley and Hotel Circle to the UCSD Health Medical Center in Hillcrest. The road was built by UCSD as a private, gated road in 1985, specifically for the employee garage, before it was opened up for the public in the 90s.
Half of the traffic on Bachmann Place is UC San Diego Health employees. The other half would be neighbors, visitors, residents of the community.
Lisa Rhodes is the Chief Administrative Officer for the UCSD Health Hillcrest redevelopment project, a 15-year plan to completely redesign the hospital's campus.
Over the 15 years of this project, we'll be transforming the neighborhood, bringing world-class medical care to this community.
The first phase of the construction just started here on Bachmann Place. The plan is to add a new 250,000 square foot outpatient building, as well as widening the road for transit and bike lanes. Unfortunately, that means this vital thoroughfare will be closed for 2 years to all those who are not UCSD employees looking to use the parking garage. While Salinas will have to find an alternative route to get to the freeway, he says what he's really worried about is the street parking that the construction is eliminating.
I work in healthcare too, and when I come home, I don't find parking, even though I pay for the residential parking. So, you know, with all this new stuff coming up, the residential parking is going to be worse.
For now, only time will tell how the closure of Bachmann affects traffic in the area and parking for those who live by the hospital. Tim Blodgett, CBS 8.